was a slave until I died. Then I was reborn a god.
Before Rome, before Babylon, before the pyramids, there was Kandak.
This opening scene isn't bad. What's bad is the expositional narration. I mean, this movie could have introduced this opening another way, but this just seems kind of lazy.
Any last words?
Yeah, shoot her ass!
Hey, amigo, let me see your hands.
This scene with Black Adam being introduced is pretty good, from the visual effects to the Man of Steel type action.
Unidentified male. This being is somehow able to harness.
What do you think?
I think you're better off calling Superman. You know, unless there's a problem which you can't, or at least for a long period of time.
Wheels up in 30.
Who's on the team?
This scene with the movie introducing the team is good. Too bad there's not much character development for these characters outside of this, though. Anytime you throw in the good, the bad, and the ugly in your movie, it'll always be a point in the good category.
If he's so powerful, how are we supposed to stop him?
If we can get him to say the word Shazam.
The characters in the movie will go in the good category. The Rock isn't bad as Black Adam, even though he's a fish out of water character. And when it comes to the Justice Society, Pierce Bronson as Dr. Fate and Algis Hodges as Hawkman are perfectly casted in their roles. Also, I'm not mad at the movie not going more in depth with the other characters though, because the movie is about Black Adam. So it won't take away from the category score. So with that, the movie earns a 1.0 out of 1.0 for actors and acting. This fight between Black Adam and the Justice Society is in the good category because it's entertaining and does well to show off everyone's powers.
We have been living under military occupation for 27 years and never seen you before.
This is probably my biggest problem with this movie. First, what she says is absolutely right. Where the f was the Justice Society, the Justice League, or at least Superman this whole time? I mean, what's stopping them from saving these people? The Sokovia Accords? And second, why does her kid idolize superheroes so much given this situation? I mean, wouldn't it actually make more sense for this kid to hate superheroes? I mean, Superman and everyone else exists, but no one has ever been here to save them. So if you really take out all the stuff with the kid trying to make Black Adam a superhero, it's even less interesting as a movie. So in the end, does Black Adam really need his own movie?
But according to the Justice Society, that's not really what happened. They say that you didn't come here to seek justice.
This movie suffers from the same problem Shazam had. What the hell is the criteria for the wizards choosing who is worthy? Like, what makes a person worthy? I mean, I'm not saying Harut isn't worthy, I'm just trying to figure out their criteria.
Okay, somewhere else. Definitely not here.
Put the bag down.
Good guy who's really a bad guy betrays the other good guys. Where have I seen this before?
Careful, dude. I almost hit you.
The comedy in this movie isn't bad. I mean, at times it's actually entertaining.
Please don't.
Death Adam, bring me the prisoner. I'll break his mind. You killed him, didn't you?
But it does seem like the movie goes out of its way to make Atom Smasher the comic relief. From this...
This feels a lot higher than last time.
to this... to this.
I am so sorry. Was that expensive?
And at times it seems like it's a little forced. But when it comes to the directing, it ends up being good for the most part. Colette does a nice job incorporating some good shots in the movie, and the slow motion is placed well throughout the movie. But what hinders it from being great is there's too many cuts during certain action scenes, and there are obvious green screen moments during some scenes. But overall, it's still good. So with that, the movie earns a 0.7 out of 1.0 for directing. Damn, that was awesome.
You said you wouldn't hurt the prisoners.
That was sarcasm.
You know, technically it was just a lie.
Who's hurt?
Look, I'm not mad at the story or anything, and I feel this movie does well balancing story and action. But the problem with this is that Black Adam is supposed to be a villain. And when you give a villain a whole movie, you start going more in depth as to what made him like that. But the thing is, Black Adam isn't an interesting enough character for a whole movie. I mean, yeah, it worked with the Joker because he's not only an iconic villain, but there was actually something to explore. But Black Adam isn't on the same level or as nearly as interesting. But he did get his own movie because The Rock was in the role. And I'm not saying The Rock isn't good in this role at all. I just don't feel Black Adam need his own movie.
I'll never say another word again.
I'm sure glad this movie ends here and they won't need to get Black Adam for help to fight a CGI monster or anything. Thank God. Son of a...
Hey, Dwayne, I'm looking at your notes for Black Adam, and you said you wanted to emphasize the comedy, and I mean that's okay. I mean, but you also said you wanted to include a CGI fight scene in the third act, similar to Marvel.
Yes.
Okay. Dwayne, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think a CGI fight scene.
It doesn't matter what you think!
What? Wow! Now that is some serious disrespect right there, JR.
I just feel like nobody will see
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
Dwayne, seriously, I just don't think a CGI fight scene in the third act is necessary.
Is that what you think?
Yes, I just think that if you do
It
that,
doesn't matter what you think!
What? Wow! Now that is some.
Black Adam doesn't need his own movie.
Now that is some serious disrespect right there, JR.
Look, wait, Dwayne, I'm just playing, wait.
The Rock left hook! Rock bottom! Rock bottom! The Rock on the left hook! The Rock bottom! And he did it!
Now, look, I'm not saying this is definitely a situation in which you should call Superman. I'm just saying I would be calling Superman at this point. Wait, how is he beating these guards? He doesn't have powers. But when it comes to the visuals and the stunts of the movie, they'll go in the good category. The visuals and the stunts look good throughout the movie as everyone's powers are displayed well. The big CGI demon at the end isn't mesmerizing though, but the movie still looks good visually. So with that, the movie earns a 0.5 out of 0.5 for visuals and stunts.
Let's end this.
This is definitely what I wanted to see. Black Adam versus a demon. But speaking of the action, it doesn't end up being bad throughout the movie as the action between Black Adam and the Justice Society is cool. But what doesn't make it good either is the third act showdown between Black Adam and the demon, which hinders the overall action in the movie. So with that, the movie earns a 0.4 out of 0.5 for action.
Tell him the man in black sent you.
Thank God Black Adam's heart grew 3 sizes this day, because if he can do this, there's no possible way the Justice Society is beating him. So not only is Black Adam not interesting enough for his own movie, he's also too powerful. But speaking of the plot and the story, this too is neither in the bad category or the good category. The plot and the story proves to be above average as they try to make a good enough origin story for Black Adam. But in reality, a Black Adam movie isn't needed as it will only bring up other questions like where is Superman or even Shazam. So maybe a Superman versus Black Adam movie or Shazam versus Black Adam movie would be better, but not without an interesting enough plot in the story. Not to mention this movie still has a couple of plot conveniences hindering the story. So with that, the movie earns a 0.6 out of 1.0 for plot and story.
Been a while since anyone's made the world this nervous.
Finally, Superman. That is just beautiful. But on the other hand, what's bad about this scene is that Superman does not listen to the commands of Amanda Waller. Okay, so when it comes to the editing, there wasn't any problems, so that'll remain a 0.3 out of 0.3. And when it comes to the score, even though there was some music played during certain scenes, there wasn't a substantial score for the character. So with that, the movie earns a 0.0 out of 0.2 for score. So now that we have all the numbers, let's add them up. So the movie ends up with a 3.5 out of 4.5, and that gives it a B++ rating. In conclusion, the bad outweighs the good or the ugly in the movie, as the bad slightly outnumbers the good at 12 to 10. And with the bad meter taking over for the movie, that brings the total percentage of the bad in the movie to 50%. So now that we have all the numbers, it's time for the movie to check out its report card.
That was sarcasm. No, technically it was just a lie.
I know you have a lot to catch up on, but I was thinking we could help each other.
It doesn't matter what you think!
What? Wow! Now that is some serious disrespect right